Folks, how's everyone doing today? We're going to go over a pretty cool chunk of probably a nice $25,000 collection here, over here in the good old hot and humid state of Florida, somewhere in the planet of Earth with, yeah, okay. So, we obviously have some very well-known, iconic, old-school Magic cards, and we also have some reserve lists, weird tier 2, tier 3 speculative areas we're going to talk about today. So let's go through this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun here. It's been a little while since we've had a good conversation, so I want to kind of give you all my thoughts, and being going into April here pretty soon of 2021. I know, crazy. All right, so candelabras, not much to say. I mean, $1,000 cards. Null Rod, it's Weatherlight. The market's finally realized how mispriced and cheap Weatherlight was. The market's going to take care of itself. Now, you get into cards like this. These are those weird Legends rares that are reserve list. There's a bunch of, the Nova Pentacles, all these Gates of Ages, all these weird cards and Legends that are very, very speculative, but they're very tough to get. And they used to be like bulk garbage rares, and they're very tough to get. I actually think there is still room to run on these. But just be careful. They are more of a higher risk thing, and if there is a market downturn, they're going to be a lot more at risk for larger swings in the price point. Keep that in mind. When we go to unlimited cards, excuse me, unlimited cards, again, still remain my favorite. I know we got a dark print over here, infamous dark on the old Icy and the normal unlimited force field. I still think unlimited cards are probably just the most, they're the only white bordered power cards that's the only white bordered old school artwork of Icy, and that's the only white bordered force field you can get. I've been saying that for years. Ring of Rudy Roo, again, more of an Arabian Nights set collecting card. Alright, so I want to comment on this real quick. So when you see cards that are revised 3rd edition over here, then when you see cards like this that are actually going to be what was that, 97? Yeah, so 97, this is going to be 5th edition. So this is one of those people argue about with reserve list, doesn't matter, alpha, beta, Howling Mines, or the Fortune. You can buy a 5th edition Howling Mine for pennies. There's been a lot of speculation that the the revised edition price increases are going to spill over into 4th edition and eventually 5th edition, 6th edition. Those are kind of like the redheaded stepchild, crappy, frowned upon, ooh, bad sets, Because 4th, 5th, and 6th edition, and right before the 7th edition skyrocket because of the blackboard foils. So they're kind of stuck right in the middle, and they're in a weird spot. I want to be on record, I can't fully get behind 5th and 6th edition regular rares doing a lot. I just can't get behind it, folks. I'm sorry. I like the old sets. I'm a huge fan, very nostalgic, but I can't get behind them in labeling them as a really good long-term play because it's just a weird time in Magic's history. Original black bordered anything from these original Four Horsemen sets, they're gold. Not much to talk about over here. All right, let's go into a couple of these. Okay, so Cursed Scroll, the #1 most infamous Tempest card from back in the 90s. When was Tempest? 98? 97. One of the most infamous cards. This was the top tier $20, $30 rare when the set came out. Still think it's an amazing card. I'm still surprised it's as cheap as it is. Maybe Cursed Scroll isn't reserveless. I don't know. I think some of them may not be reserveless. Well of Knowledge, again, Weatherlight. The market finally realized how cheap and mispriced those were. Now, when you get into the Jester stuff here, let's comment about this. These Jester things, these Jester items are they're reserve list. I know there's been a lot of movement and talk recently on the mask, which is ironic. I still can't get behind, and I look, these things may go up and do well into the future, but they are very speculative, and I just don't think the risk justifies the reward. Yes, I think they're going to go up as time goes forward, but I'm telling you all, you cannot underestimate how much Ice Age is in the world. I'm trying to explain, maybe not the sealed product, but the single cards. There are so many. Okay. Helm of Rudy's Obedience. Honestly, I love that artwork. That was one of the first things that got me. A beautiful lady on there. Beautiful piece of artwork with the helmet. And everything about this card. Always a huge fan. Yes, I think Helm of Obedience has a very, very bright future. Even I don't even know what today's price is. Even if it's $100 today, I think it can climb way past 100. Gauntlets of Might, again, we're into the Legends area with these weird type of rares. This one's not reserve list. Gauntlets were reprinted in Chronicles. It's a set collector card. All right, so let's go into this one. This is interesting. Ensnaring Bridge, obviously not reserve list, been reprinted in master sets, all kinds of historical reprints. I think there's even a whiteboarded reprint of a core set of this. Original black bordered printing, original art. Fan of it from Stronghold, a super rare, super expensive set of Stronghold. But again, more speculative. Same thing. We're back to the 5th, 6th edition era. This is 5th edition. Just remember, again, be very careful with those cards. I'm not a big fan of those. Cursed Totem, Mirage, probably reserve list. I am a fan of it, but again, very speculative. There's more than you think out there. And just be very careful with going into those things. It's a very thin market. The prices can swing easily, and you can easily get hammered. Be careful. Visions, believe it or not, my least favorite older set. Seriously, I was never a huge Visions fan. I love Mirage, but I wasn't a fan of Visions. Not really a huge fan of Visions anything. Okay, this is interesting. So Lotus Petals, Scroll Racks, obviously not, I don't believe reserve list, or maybe they are. I was like, Scroll Racks, isn't that on the list with like mystery boxes and like Zendikar and everything? Anyways, Lotus Petals, both these things, reprinted different things. Original versions will continue to drift upwards, but they are going to have a limited upside due to the lack of reserve list. No matter how you feel about it, just the fact they're not reserve list, it impacts the credibility and consumer confidence on the market. Whether they reprinted a million times or not, doesn't matter. It's about the consumer confidence and perspective of the public. Okay, again, Weatherlight, gold. Weatherlight, gold. Visions, still good, but again, just keep in mind, a lot of these weird era cards, they're riskier. You know, even though I love Weatherlight, I've always have, just be aware they are still riskier. Okay? Let's take also same thing. Firex, a lot of awesome old school cards, but just again, a lot of them are these Weatherlight Visions, kind of these weird third tier reserve lists. They are riskier. When a market, not if, but when a market downturn comes, those guys are going to take some serious hits. Shield Sphere, again, alliances. Alliances, hugely underappreciated in the last 5-10 years. In the last 12 months, the prices of alliances has gone through the roof because people realized how mispriced it was. Manoweb, again, Weatherlight. This is going to be a 4th edition, 1995 down there on the copyright. Ankh of Mitra, again, 4th, 5th, 6th edition. Still not touching it. Sorry, not a big fan. Planner Gate, here's another one of those legends. Very bizarre, pseudo-rare, weird tier reserve list cards. It's legends. They're going to continue to grow, but those are the guys that take the hardest hits in bear markets, man. All right, the Dark, Wand of Ith. Again, the Dark is, I'm still struggling to value cards from the Dark. Very, very difficult to understand the supply and how expensive and how cheap. And the Dark is still in a weird place. I'm having a hard time with that product still. Zuron Orbs. Again, Ice Age. Love the card. Again, it's Ice Age. Be very careful. The sheer volume. All right, Chains. One of the Black Four Horsemen of original Legends. Pure gold. 5-star. $5,000, $10,000 PSA 10s. They're going to happen. 5-star card. Amazing card. All right, here's a good one. Here's a good one, folks. Here's a real good one over here. We got ourselves beautiful unlimited edition Word of Commands. Remember, this is one of the cards that was not printed in revised. So this was only an ABU card. Huge Word of Command fan. Always a big, big fan of that card over the years. All right, what do we got here? Underworld Dreams. Fan favorite here. Not reserve list. Has been reprinted many times, even recently. Original OG black borders are always going to be special from Legends. All right, okay, so now we got some Arabian Nights. There's a little bit of yeah, we'll do it. So Cabal Ghouls, one of Rudy's speculative favorites. Still think the card has room to run. Even if it's $100 today, this thing can easily reach a couple hundred and keep going to the moon there. Big fan of that card. Same thing here. Even though this is a common, not reserve list, it is pseudo-reserve list. Stone Throwing Devils, this is one of those sensitivity cards and cultural things from 2020. I guess because of the name, or devils that are throwing stones. I guess it was like maybe witchcraft or stoning people. I don't know who cares. Point is, iconic history, going to be a very, very bright future for value for those cards. Again, cards from the Dark. Never a huge fan until recently. I've been paying more attention to the Dark. Still having a hard time understanding where the Dark is going to settle out, especially as sealed boxes of the Dark are pushing 10,000 plus. And I do think sealed boxes of the Dark are going to head to 20,000 plus. Still not sure about the singles, though. I don't know where that's going to land. All right. Good old Necro over here. Ice Age favorite. Again, Ice Age. Be careful with Ice Age. There are a lot of Ice Age cards. Be super careful, folks. Necro, Old Visions. Again, 4th, 5th edition cards right here. Super careful, folks. There are tons out there. All right, so what do we got here? We got some epic Legends cards. We got some cheaper Legends uncommons, Desert from Arabian, and oh, here we go. So we're going to put these Legends. Oh, well, I'm just mixing them together. All right, so big heavy hitters right here. We've got ourselves a Tabby. Again, Tabbies are going to be $5,000 to $10,000 a card in the future. Not much to say. Diamond Valley, just again, nothing to say. Island of Rudy's Walk. And by the way, if you didn't notice, this particular card in this collection has been inked. This was actually an inking card that I caught in this collection. So unfortunately, this is you can actually see the black Sharpie touch up on there. So it is a damaged card, which kind of sucks though, but it is what it is. All right, Maze of Ith, the Dark, again, been reprinted already many times in master sets. Still like the original though, especially that original artwork. The world famous original 4 seasons of the factories, including the best of the best, the winter. Still just, I can't express my passion for this thing. Oh my God, I can't even talk about that. It's just so good. All right. Oh, okay, here we go. Okay, let's get these alliances. Here's a good one. Here's a good one for everybody. So we got alliances over here. Interesting thing to talk about here. The land cycles and all these excavations, thawing glaciers, lakes, hearts, trading posts, and outposts. I know there's a lot of talk. I've received many messages on excavations too recently. I think there's other people involved with that, which I guess is pretty cool. No big deal in there. And Lake of the Dead, and a lot of conversations on Heart. I know there's even I swear, I think that was the card where someone even emailed me saying like they had hundreds of copies for sale and they wanted a ton of money. It was weird. Anyways, all these cards, obviously I think Thawing Glaciers, Lake, and even the Outpost are going to be the probably fastest appreciating ones in the future. But don't downplay the Heart and the Excavations. Those do have room to grow. While I'm not a super mega huge fan, as I am with like, Helm of Obedience or Lake of the Dead, those kind of third tier kind of trading posts and other cards and excavations, they can move. There is opportunity there because they're still very cheap. I mean, what are those things? $10, $20? I mean, there's a bright future for that. All right, Cards from the Dark, again, having a hard time valuing that because the market's trying to figure it out also. Visions, again, Paradise, Lotus Veils from the old Weatherlights here. We got Tempest Wastelands. By the way, here's another one. These Ruins from Weatherlight. And then, of course, these Tempest cards right here. Very cool stuff from the Tomb and Wasteland. Very big fan of those things. You got the Mines over here. Oh, such a good card. I love that gemstone thing. Here's a good one here before we finish up this pile over here, everybody. Again, I know. These are factories, strip mines, 4th edition. I can't stress enough. Do not think you can corner or buy out a 4th or 5th edition card. There are a lot. I have a section. No joke. I probably have at least 100, 200,000 4th edition cards of common, uncommon, and rares. I've never gone through because I don't care. Anyways, Ice Age. Same thing. Be careful. Rainbow Veil. It's stupid. It's almost like flipping Dogecoin, the doggy coin land. It's one of those things where it's so ridiculous. There's a chance this thing keeps going up in the future and Fallen Empires could have a $50 or $100 card. It's so dumb. It's possible. I don't recommend it, but I'm just saying it's stupid, but don't rule it out. I'm telling you all. Land's Edge, great. Alley from Cairo, amazing. Gravity Spheres, Legends, Falling Stars, Winds of Change. These are all cards we know. Storm Worlds, great cards. The infamous Egg from Arabian. Chain Lightning, one of the best commons ever. Again, here we go again. We got Chronicles Blood Moon, white bordered set logo Chronicles. We've got ourselves 4th edition Mana Flare. You see the day at the bottom, 95. And we got the 97 over here, like 5th, 6th edition era. Again, be real careful with those things. Goblin Ball, great card, great theme, great art, but again, it's cool. But Juka Halaps, again, very big card back in the day. Ice Age, don't underestimate how many exist. And here's a bunch of these things. Final Fortunes, Firestorms, Recruiters, a lot of the cards from this era. Be careful, folks. The supply, I keep emphasizing to you, the supply of that stuff is far more than you all realize. Now, here's some heavy hitters, folks. We got Archaeologist, one of Rudy's favorite all-time Magic cards. Shaharu Rudy, one of Rudy's favorite all-time cards. The world famous, what started the buyouts in 2016, the original buyout card, Moat. I wonder what happened to that guy. I still wonder if he kept his 20 moats. He didn't. Moats, these things, again, they'll be $5 grand a card one day. The sheer specialness. King Rudy, great card. Thunder Spirit, still not a fan of the card. I know, old school, it's got a place, 3-drop, 2/2, first strike flying. There's not a lot to choose from. Not a fan. Land tax, cool. Again, 4th edition, revised edition. Oh, here you go, Ice Age. All these different versions of swords. Sorry, if it's not Alpha Beta Unlimited, I don't like it. Sorry, I just don't see a future. Kismet, very cool. Enduring Renewal. Okay, I want to mention this card. This was a big deal in the Ice Age era back in the day. Not anymore, but God, that was such a big deal back in the day, folks. That was such a big deal. Tutors, going to be reprinted, but still value in originals. Same thing, Weatherlight over here. And that's it for that pile. We're going to skim through the second pile, then we're going to wrap this video up. Again, Ice Age cards, I do like them. They have room to grow, but be very careful. I'm a broken record, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, when the bear market hits in 6 months or 6 years, these things are going to get clobbered. I'm warning you. All right, but again, in the meantime, the trend's your friend until the end. Again, we got Weatherlight, Visions, a lot of weird tier cards, Buried Alive. Very cool card. Here you go. Here's a good one, folks. Bazaar of Wonder, reserve list, very cool card from Mirage, not worth them much. Chromatog, not a fan. White Bordered Hercules Recall from 4th edition, not a fan. Merchant Scroll, believe it or not, Homelands, actually a decent card. There's been speculation around this. I just can't get behind a Homelands card right now. It's a mental thing. Maybe one day I'll change my tune on that. Illusions, again, Ice Age, very cool. The Dark card, still on the fence. Tempest Meditates, room to run on that bad boy. Mana Vortex, one of the better cards in the Dark that was really cheap for a long time. Okay, we're going to comment on the Force of Wills here in a second, but another tutor. Okay, Power Artifacts, again, Power Artifact and Transmute, the 2 blue guys, they were under $100 for like flipping ever. They finally moved to 200-300. Those things will easily be 500 one day. Those are such good cards. Recalls, great card. Invoke the P, can't talk about it, but again, $1,000 cards. Those things are such an infamous card at this point in time. Resets, amazing. Tempest, Time Warps, and more trade wind riders for Rudy. Again, I'm a huge Tempest fan. The power level of Tempest I thought was a lot better. Lord of I love this card from a kid. I used to build decks around that. I know it's a terrible card, but I loved it. Visions. Is this really Richard? Is this really like Richard Garfield, Dr. Richard Garfield or something? Garfield in an anagram. Is that really true? Squandered Resources. Somebody tried to sell me a bunch of those in the past, but I just not a fan, man. See, I'd rather buy like an Ice Age card like her. Iffity Biff, again, Arabian Nights. Not even worth the time to try to tell you guys about it. Sylvan Library, original version, even though it's not reserve list, still like it. I guess and then Eureka, great card. Again, I love the birds, but be careful on the 4th, 5th edition versions. Revised, even that's on the edge, man. Spirit Guides, very underappreciated card. That one's finally been getting attention. Autumn Willow, God, I love that card when I was younger. I don't know if that's ever going to do anything. And of course, we got some little stuff. Killer Bees over here. I'll put these Force Wills down. Killer Bees, Natural Order from Visions, Force of Nature from 4th edition. We got the Dark cards, Hidden Path again. You got more cards from the Dark, like the old Tree Folk creepy guy. Very uncertain about that. Tutors, City, Winter, and of course, Burgioning. All right, so last but not least, before we end this video, Force of Wills. People always speculate and ask me about Force of Wills. I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to end the video. Yes, the original Force of Will can continue to climb. I can't believe it's still under $100. Original Force of Wills can easily make it to that $200, $300, $500 range because you have Therese Nielsen's artwork, which I guess she got involved in all that political crap. Who cares? But the point is, it's an original thing. There's no more Therese artwork. It's the original one. It does hold a certain piece in Magic history and will be continued to be sought after in the future, especially as years go by and people look back at that 2020, all the cultural stuff and the banning of the stone-throwing devils, Invoke the P, and it's just going to create more of a collectability. And again, people who have them aren't selling them. So hope you all enjoyed this kind of run-through. Really cool collection. Again, I appreciate the gentleman allowing me to share this and have these amazing cards and purchase them. So hope you all learned something today. Have a great day as always. And remember, life's a beautiful thing. Seriously. When things are beating you up and giving you a hard time, remember, it is important, folks. It is important to have bad things happen. It's important to be knocked down a peg or two. It's important to just kind of slapped across the face, because that's the point of life, to feel the ups and downs. Remember that. Don't let it get you down, folks. It's a beautiful world out there.